doctor. For medical advice, please consult a doctor.
Assalamu alaikum to all our listeners and viewers. I welcome you all to another exciting and educating edition of the Health and Fitness Show. I'm Fahad Mahtan, your host for today, and I hope and pray that all of us are fit and healthy by the grace of Almighty Allah. I do pray we all had a nice positive week so far, and also looking forward for a nice and relaxing weekend. This program is broadcasting live from the studios of Inspire FM on 24th of August 2023. And the time just past 6 p.m. And we are casting our positive vibes to all our lovely people in Luton and all the surrounding areas of Luton, like Dunstable, Harpenden, Bedford. We are our sound waves reaching to all our listeners who are listening through us via Inspire FM app, website, or viewing us via Facebook or YouTube channels. If you're listening to the show on Sunday or any other Thursdays, that means it's not live. It is a repeat, but today it is live because it's 24th of August today. So when we talk about our show, we always say that we have something different in mind, and when we talk about something different, we talk about all kinds of topic. We make sure that you as a listener listening us, and it is your topic, so we always try to incorporate something which you want to listen, which you want to see. And today's topic is something in the same line. One thing which we always wonder, and this is like a holy grail whenever we talk about health and fitness, and we always wanted to know what to eat, what not to eat, how we can eat our things, why do we need to eat so much or so less in order to bulk up or reduce our body. And there are so many things which people always say, whether we exercise and that will solve our issue in terms of health wise, weight wise, or general looking wise. And that's one of those main questions which we always ask each other every single day, regardless whether we ask it loudly or sometimes, if you are like myself, I normally look at myself in the mirror and say, wow, man, I have gained a lot of weight and I need to shred. And that is something which was how I personally thought, it's enough is enough, let's take some steps. So I have taken a very challenging step, and it is challenging, which we will be talking about it. But today's show is not about that. Today's show is something different. Today we are talking about what you need to eat for a great shape. Yes, you have heard me correctly. Our topic for today is what we need to eat to have a great shape. And definitely eating is something, being a nation, we always what's the best word, whenever we go anywhere, we eat, and that's how we always enjoy. We eat, we love eating, regardless wherever we go. Eating is the most important thing which we do. However, sometimes if we know what we are eating, it will it will help us in a many different way. And definitely I'm not the one who will be talking about this topic all by myself. I have a very lovely brother who is with me today. He was here last month as well, and he is my coach who's guiding me and helping me in terms of how or what to eat and how to eat. In fact, when he gave me the first set of eating plan, it was a bit kind of I was thinking, really, but we will talk about this and many more. But let me introduce him. He is none other than Afsar Chaudhry, the owner of Gain Seekers. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, Fahad. How you doing, bro? You good?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. How are you, my brother?
Yeah, mashallah. I'm not doing too bad. I'm really looking forward to this show today. I'm looking forward to all the shows, to be honest with you, because I think, I hope, what I can give people is a simplistic breakdown of actual actionable things that they can do in their day and do in their lifestyle that will actually have a real positive outcome.
Mm-hmm. And I must say, the amount of and if you do not know brother Afsar, if you go to his YouTube channels, you can see and you can hear he has achieved many life-changing transformations, and his goal is simple: empowering people mentally and physically to become a better version of ourselves. Am I right, brother?
Yeah, you're absolutely 100% right. And I would like to kind of start from there. So I think diet, right, and what you eat is something that every single human being should be consciously aware of, right? I think one of the biggest issues is that a lot of people think the only time that they need to be thinking about what they're eating is if it's for a vanity project. So they want to, lose some weight for a holiday or a wedding, right, or build some muscle. Truth of the matter is that all health emanates from a foundation of nutrition. You can't out-train a bad diet, right? So before you even think about, what you want to do in terms of building a body, the first thing that you need to establish is a foundation of good nutrition. And a lot of people don't know how to do that, because they go on the internet and they get overwhelmed by a lot of the stuff they're seeing. So they don't know what diet's good to follow. So I'm hoping to be able to break that down today into two segments. One, what is a good way to eat, to be healthy, to be fit, and to have a lifestyle where you're going to get further into shape. And the other way is how we do things to build a body.
Yes, indeed, and definitely so if we divide these two things in two different parts, so the first part we will take is with
the first part to take is like, what should I be eating?
Yes.
What is a healthy way to eat? What's going to ensure me that I'm looking after my internal health, right? Because like I say, building a body is very much different to just eating healthily. So if we look at eating healthily first, right? And what I always tell people is that if you take a step back from what you see on the supermarket shelves, right, what we're accustomed to eating on a normal diet, and you think about what are the good quality foods that are going to give to your body, right, and ensure that you're looking after your body. And you can find those very simply in nature. That's the truth. I always say to people, look, you can make an instant change in your diet right away that's going to benefit you. And when you're looking for the way to go, you want something where you're not having to worry about counting calories, you're not having to worry about, how much protein, carbs, or fats you're eating. You want a diet that is just going to see you improve, right, in all vectors. You want to stick to a natural diet. If you look at the way things are, and this is what I love, because it shows you, do you know what it shows you? This is when I ever give this example, I say to people that this shows you that there's an intelligent thought behind creation. Because if you stick to things that have been provided by the earth, where the only ingredient in that food is the food item itself, you literally can never go wrong. So think about it. What's in a potato?
Protein.
No, just a potato, right? What's in a chicken breast? Just chicken breast.
Chicken breast.
What's in a banana? Just banana. What's in nuts? Just nuts, right? Then you won't go on the back of any of those foods, right, and see a whole host of different ingredients, right? So if you stick to foods where, first of all, this is like a basic guideline. If you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, I want to start eating healthier, I want to start taking care of my diet, I want to start taking care of my body, then the first thing you want to do is reduce all the garbage out of your diet, right? All the man-made stuff. This isn't good for you. This is what man has made to sell you, right? And whilst it might taste nice, whilst it might be convenient, it's not doing your body any good. And that is why, especially in the Western world, we are seeing so much decline in people's health, right? I think across the Western world now, we're struggling with the biggest obesity epidemic that there is, right? And when you're ill in your body, you can be assured that you're going to become ill in your mind. They're truly intrinsically linked, right? So the first most powerful thing you can do is you need to look at what you're eating in your day and think, how much of that is from nature? And what I love about nature and having whole foods is that it's intrinsically programmed into the food itself. You can't overeat. You can't binge. Let me give you an example. In all honesty, how much biscuits can you eat with a cup of tea?
Before or after?
Yeah.
So the reason I'm saying before or after is because I remember before I jump onto this plan, which I'm working with you, I give me a pack of bourbon or
Yeah.
or a half pack of rich tea, or even what's the best thing? You know, that custard cream.
Oh, it can't be custard creams.
Give me a packet of custard cream and a cup of tea, and they're gone.
They're gone, right?
They're gone.
Absolutely, it's a great example. Same for me, right? I could easily go through 2 or 3 packets of Jaffa cakes. I could easily go through 6, 7 packets of crisps, right? When you eat these foods, the way they react in the body with the blood sugar and everything, you're able to eat a huge amount of calories. You're able to eat a huge amount of food in one go. And it's not that filling. There's so many people watching this right now that know exactly what I'm talking about. Once you start, you know, on a chocolate or on a biscuit or on some sweets or on some crisps, whatever, you can keep going. Now, imagine you replace that food, right? How many times have you heard about a person saying, oh, I binged on apples? Oh, man, I had so many nuts. You should have seen it. I got put so much weight on. Oh, you know what, Yard? I had like last night, I binged on chicken breast, or I binged on rice, or I binged on. You don't hear it because the way the body responds to the food, when it's a natural food that is from the earth, it's in such a way that you can only have it in a balanced way. You'll never hear. If I said to you today that you can eat as much food as you want out of these food types, so we're using clean, lean proteins like fish, like beef, like eggs, like chicken, right? Turkey, right? And then I said to you, for carbohydrates, you can have rice, you can have potato, you can have fruits, and for fats, you can have avocado, you can have nuts. Realistically, you will never, ever, ever be able to. I would say it's almost impossible to put body fat on if a majority of your diet is from good quality, whole, real food, right? And look at the beauty in that. That what has come from the earth is so powerful that it will give you enough nourishment, right, to have a strong, fit, healthy body, but you will never be able to overindulge to a point where you become unhealthy. Look at that system already designed,
Indeed.
right? So if you're looking for, you're listening to this right now, you're thinking, man, I don't like the way that my body's going, right? You know, I ain't feeling too good about myself, right? You know in your heart that you're getting unfitter. You know in your heart that you're getting out of shape, right? And you don't like how that feels. Instead of being depressed and down about it, which is what a lot of people get, feel that emotion and realize that that is your body telling you to do something different. The first step you got to take is, before you train, before you do cardio, is start looking at your diet with a critical eye and asking yourself how much of that diet is based upon natural, organic, whole food, right? Because that is where you're going to find the most power. If you start to put these items of food into your diet, so where you're just mainly focused on having, like I say, good quality lean meats, right? You can use seasoning on them. There's no issue with that at all, but you want to keep the masala down to a minimum. Stop cooking with vegetable oils, right? Start cooking with more natural fats like coconut oil, ghee, butter, you know, at a limit, right? Start having more fruit, start having more nuts, things like avocado in your diet. Stick into carbohydrate sources like rice, like potato, right? These sort of things. You will find, without doing any calorie counting, right? Without doing any sort of monitoring of what you're eating, right? Even without a cardio and training plan, your body will start to change. And you will see that reflected in your blood work as well.
To be honest, I still remember last week when you gave me the diet plan of having 3 eggs first thing in the morning, and then the amount of rice and chicken I need to have in the afternoon, and the third meal is fish or chicken with a little bit of rice, and definitely salad, and definitely a fruit in every single meal.
Absolutely.
And then 4th meal, and I was literally thinking, okay.
Yeah.
Are you being serious? In fact, first week I struggled to have even 3 meals.
Feels like a lot of food, doesn't it?
After having my 3 eggs in the morning, I'm completely choked. That's why afternoon and lunch gone, and the evening meal is in. I'm not. But then the problem is, I absolutely agree, because you said you cannot have anything else.
Yeah.
And I did not have anything else, and my hands going to different things like biscuits, like those extra savory stuff and whatnot. And I was literally stopping myself. After a week, I know, like this morning, I had my 3 eggs,
Yeah.
and before my lunchtime, I was hungry like hell. and that really reminds me of what you said, that brother, don't worry about it. It's a habit. Once you are in that habit, you will feel hungry even after having this food, which is very, very unique.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's what happens. You got to understand that the body, right, when you first start eating these foods, because the way they are, sorry about this, I've got a bit of a throat here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay. So when you eat these sort of foods, what you're going to find is that at first you will feel very, very full because they're voluminous foods. And it's good because, like I say, let's go to the example of having whole eggs for your breakfast, right? We'll say 1 or 2 rounds of toast or half an avocado or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That versus, say, a bowl of cereal. You know, a bowl of cereal, you can eat quite a large amount. You'll never kick to the serving size. And then when you have that, because of the sugar content in it, you have a big sugar spike.
Mm-hmm.
And that then causes a lot of hunger, causes blood sugar crashes. You feel not good during the day, right? Just a simple tweak of having something like, I said, that's a quality protein, like a couple of whole eggs in the morning, maybe a bit of smoked salmon, maybe an avocado, a little bit of toast, right, with some real butter on it. You will have a lot more energy. You'll have a lot more like mental clarity because you don't have any sort of up and down with your blood sugar, and you'll feel a lot stronger throughout the day and a lot more satiated because this is food that's providing a benefit for your body. Or you have to understand this. You have to ask yourself this question. A lot of man-made food is designed as an energy source. It's not designed to benefit your body. When you look at the back of like something that you buy, like a microwave meal, cereals or whatever, and you look and it's got a whole host of ingredients, you know that's not natural. And you know that realistically, you're not going to, outside of convenience and something quick to eat, you're not going to get much of a benefit.
Indeed. In terms of when we talk about the food groups itself, I know you just mentioned about having fruit and food from earth and so forth. What are the best things we should avoid to have, or what are the things we should completely avoid to have on a regular basis?
I would say things that you want to avoid to have are things with a lot of processed sugars, right? Things that you want to avoid are things with a lot of vegetable oils, high saturated fats. These are conveniently hidden in a lot of meals, right? So when you go out shopping, one key thing to do is you have to look at the ingredients of what you're buying, right? And look at what's in there. You know, take a little bit more of a constructive eye, right? Think about this. Like, what am I putting into my body? Is it going to benefit me, right? Or is it something that is just literally going to not do anything for me, right? And realistically, in my personal opinion, do damage to you. This is where you begin, right? Because there's not a single person that I've worked with yet that when I switch them over to a diet that is based on a foundation of whole foods, right, that doesn't feel stronger, that doesn't feel better in themselves, that doesn't have more energy, that doesn't have more mental clarity, right? A lot of people are going through their day feeling like absolute rubbish, right? Suffering from inflammation, suffering from bloating, suffering from a foggy mind, right? Suffering from tiredness, suffering from low energy, dragging themselves day to day like that, when it could all be changed if you looked at your foundation of what's going into your body. This body here, don't take it for granted. It's a human machine, right? If you look after it, you will be rewarded. If you abuse it, what do you think is going to happen? And that journey starts from what you put in your mouth.
Indeed, and sometimes it's not that easy to stop, and you have said it very correctly in terms of binge eating. We have never heard of people saying that they have binge eat on chicken, because maximum amount of chicken wings a person can eat is 10, 12, maximum 25 if it's yourself who can literally eat a cow in no time. But that's what a person can eat, a normal person who's not a fussy eater. But exactly same amount of calories, if you put it in crisp, a person can literally eat 10 bags of crisp in no time.
Absolutely. Easily, very easily. You know, and like I say to you, because those foods, a lot of these foods that are processed will trigger your blood sugar in such a way, right, that you'll crave more and more and more. You'll never have that. Like, for instance, like I keep going back to this example, but imagine you're sitting there right now with a cup of tea, right? Imagine, if you listen to this, imagine this, and you have your favorite biscuit. You have one biscuit. You know as well as I do that you could easily go for a second, a third, a fourth, and before you know it, you're halfway down the pack. Have a plate of fruit in front of you. Let's say cut up some apple, maybe put a bit of orange in there, maybe put some strawberries in there, right? You can't do that with that, right? And here's the even bigger difference is that what is from the earth, right, is providing you with actual health benefits, antioxidants, micronutrients, minerals, vitamins. What you are getting off supermarket stores is just providing you with just nothing.
Exactly. And sometimes it's not easy to understand, because sometimes when you go and to your GP and say, oh, okay, what's wrong with my blood? The doctor will look at the screen and says, nothing, all is normal.
Yeah.
And sometimes you said, okay, that's a bit odd. He's saying everything is normal. Why am I still feeling lethargic, and why I'm feeling tired, and what's wrong with me? And to take like, for example, if you really want to know what's happening with your blood, you can always take a private blood test from Optimized Body and Mind. They give a complete breakdown of the blood scores I have from there, and when they gave me my blood sets, it was completely different in a very different way, because it has literally showed me what's wrong. It has also showed me the deficiency of vitamins. And I remember you said you need to take that many vitamins every single day. And I was thinking, bloody hell, how can I have that?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So we live in an age where, like I say to you, because, you know, I want viewers to get as much value out of this as possible. If you're listening to this, and like I say, you're in a position where you want to make a change with your body, right? Which is a really positive thing. You know, let's stop making it negative and making it all about vanity. Looking after your body has got nothing to do with that vanity. Looking after your body has got everything to do with empowering yourself. There is no one listening to this who's not going to benefit from being strong, healthy, fit, in great shape, protecting the longevity, protecting the mortality, and leading a lifestyle that is continuously ensuring that that's the case, right? So if you're in that situation where you want to make a change, you now actually have the most power at your tips to do it. Believe me, now you have the most power. I wish when I started my journey, which is about 20 years ago now in bodybuilding itself, right, that I had the power that people do today. So first of all, you can actually bypass a GP, because with businesses and services like Optimized Health, right, that are offering you these detailed, in-depth analysis of your own blood work, you can go and you can say, okay, what's going on internally in my body? Let me find that out first, right? And it is scary. It does feel scary, because nobody wants to find out they got something wrong with them. But here's the good news, is that whatever you get on your blood test that comes back as a red, you could turn it around to a green, right? And that should prompt you into taking action into your lifestyle anyway. So you go and get a blood test. You see where you're at, right? See what your vitals are. Get a blueprint of where you are, right? And then you can start taking the next action, getting your diet in order, right? Starting going to the gym, whether it's at home or whether it's going to a gym, doing physical exercise. I don't care who you are, right? Is going to be a benefit to you, right? You build strong muscles, you build strong ligaments, you build strong tendons, you build strong bones. These things, don't think narrow-mindedly of how you are today. Think about the you in 5, 10, 15, 20 years' time, and how you're going to benefit from the actions that you take today. Because the actions you take today, whether you like it or not, are going to affect you tomorrow in either a negative or a positive way. There's nothing in between. There's no middle ground, right? You're either going backwards or you're going forwards.
Indeed.
So getting that training in place, then being active, right? Looking after your heart, getting a fit, efficient, healthy heart by working it through various different cardios, right? And you do that, and you literally start to see your body change in a way that you never imagined. And when your body's changing like that, you start to feel a lot better in yourself. You start to feel a lot more capable in yourself, because intrinsically, to build a body, or let's say to get into great shape, you have to be organized with your day. You have to be consciously aware and planning what you're eating. You have to be getting up, and you have to be challenging yourself in some aspect physically, whether it's cardio training, on a pretty much daily basis, right? These things don't take from you. Should I tell you what takes from you? Sitting down, watching TV, right? Sitting down on the internet, sitting down, gossiping on the phone. These are things that add nothing to your life, but you'll look at an hour of training, or you'll look at half an hour of cardio, or you'll look at eating the right food, that's too difficult, it's too much. When really you've been blinded to the positivity that's going to do for you in your life, right?
Yes, indeed. And I must say it is. Oh, completely forgot about our listeners. So, listeners, you have heard the first half of the show. It's almost time for a break. When we come back from the break, we definitely like to hear your views as well, as in what kind of a food you like to eat and what you see food in terms of eating and healthy wise or building wise. So please get in touch with us and let us know what do you eat or what not eat and how you feel comfy food helps or unhelpful for yourself. And stay tuned with us. When we come back, we will be talking a bit more. We will discuss more about how and what kind of a food groups will help us to build a proper body. Stay tuned. We will be right back after these short messages.
Assalamu alaikum. In Luton and its surrounding areas, it is now time for Salat al-Asr.
लुटन और इसके मज़ाफ़ात में नमाज असर का वक्त हुआ चाहता है.
This azan has been sponsored by Ideal Properties. Contact us on 01582 72 1110 or log on to www.idealpropertiesltd.co.uk.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد.
Would you like to sponsor the azan? If so, give us a call on 01582 481810 or email us on info@inspirefm.org.
From the studios of Inspire FM, the time is now 6:30.
Any health advice given, whether general, diet, physical, or spiritual, is general only and must be verified by your doctor. If you need medical advice, please consult a doctor.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all our listeners and viewers. Welcome back to the Health and Fitness Show. I'm Fahad Matan, your host for today's evening, and today we are talking about what we need to eat for great shape. With our very own guest, my guru, Afzal Chaudhry from Grain Seekers. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
This program is being sponsored by Optimine Body and Mind and presented, and this program is broadcasting live today on 24th of August 2023 from the studios of Inspire FM, and the time just past 6:30. Our positive vibes reaching to our lovely people in Luton and all the surrounding areas of Luton, like Dunstable, Harpenden, and Bedford, and our positive areas reaching our listeners through Inspire FM app, website, and you can view us via Facebook and YouTube channels. And definitely, I like to get some questions from our listeners as well. So, listeners, if you are listening to our show today and you like to know what to eat and what not to eat to have a great shape, please get in touch with us by calling us on 01582 481822. I repeat, 01582 481822. Or you can send your questions via text messages or WhatsApp on 07779 481822. I repeat, 07779 481822. So in the first half of the show, we have discussed what are the best way of improving your or revitalizing yourself in terms of what you can create, because sometimes what we do is we have to empower our mind to be in the right way. So for the first half, we have literally talked about that side. So this side of the show, we will be discussing what we can eat to have a great shape. And I can absolutely understand, because sometimes you eat what you are, and if you are eating junk food, you become a junk food person. Am I wrong, Bhai?
No, you're absolutely right. And that's like what we covered in the first part of the show. So just to summarize and recap, so that then we can kind of move on to the next side of this, is that first of all, if you're somebody that is very new to even the idea of, getting into shape, and you want to improve your diet, you want to get healthy, you want to get fitter, then the first thing that you really want to do is you want to look at changing your diet to a whole food, real food, natural diet. Right? So you're using a lot of food where the only item of the food is the food in it. Like I say to you, if you look at a grape, there's only grapes in it, right? You look at an apple, there's only apple in it. You look at a piece of steak, there's only steak in it. You look at nuts, there's only nuts in it. You can have meals throughout your day made of a combination of real food, and I can assure you, you are going to start to see benefits across the board, right? So that's if you want to get yourself on a good quality diet. Right. So you're in a position where you can say that you're actually eating healthy every single day. And that diet over time is going to take effect. You are going to lose a bit of body fat. There's no doubt about it at all. Right. You are going to get a healthier heart. There's no doubt about it at all. Right. You are going to start to preserve your longevity. There's no doubt about it at all. Right. But then the next question becomes, okay, I want to do something more than eat healthy. I want to build a body. Right. I want to put some muscle on. I want to drop some body fat. I want to actually change my visual appearance of how I look, right? I want to get stronger, significantly stronger. I want to perform better, right? Let's say you're an athlete of some kind. That's where nutrition then becomes, this is why I love coaching. I love coaching because nutrition at that point, it becomes an art. That's what it becomes. So I can't tell you everything, not because I want to hold back for you guys, but you guys will need like hours and hours and hours, because I've worked with so many people. So there's so many different stories I can tell you about what nutritionally worked for one person, what necessarily worked for another person, right? In terms of diets, but the background of what builds a person's body, we can definitely talk about today. So if your goal is to build a body, right, this is now where you have to start becoming accountable for everything that you're eating, right? So the first thing that you want to do, in all honesty, is you want to understand what is exactly going in and out of your body every day. And what I mean by that is you need to now go from I'm eating healthy foods to I'm eating this much protein per day, right? I'm eating this much carbohydrates per day. I'm eating this much fat per day. Then what you have to do is you have to keep that consistent, right? So once you have a good idea of what you're eating and you know that, okay, if I eat this food day in and day out, this sort of macronutrients, this sort of range of food, right? Same food each day, for example, for a week, and your weight stays the same, right? Even over 2 weeks, then you know that you've got a diet now that is keeping you at maintenance, right? This is where the journey begins. So then it's like, if you want to, let's say, build more muscle, right? You will start to increase the food you're eating. And you're going to predominantly do that through protein and carbohydrates, right? There's a reason for that. The reason why I'll get a lot of guys who want to put muscle on, I won't add fats or increase fats, like right to the latter stage of their journey, right? The reason being is because fats, when they're taken in high quantities, can cause digestive slowdown. So your body's breaking the food down a lot slower. So what tends to happen is you can't actually eat that much food. When you're trying to put muscle on, and your goal is to gain muscle tissue and to genuinely get stronger in the gym, take your bench press up to another level, take your deadlift and squat up to another level, you need to be getting in a good amount of protein, you need to be getting a good amount of carbs, right? And a good amount of fats, but your protein, your carbs are what you're going to play for. Now, when it comes to losing body fat, right, it goes the opposite way. So I would say the most important thing when your goals, let's say, to trim your waist down, right? You want to get nice and lean. Really, the two macronutrients that you want to focus on the most are actually protein and fat, right? The carbohydrates are what you're going to pull down, right? Reason being is because carbohydrates, believe it or not, you may know this, you may not know this watching this. Carbohydrates are not actually essential for the body. Body doesn't actually need them.
Seriously?
Yeah, it doesn't. The two macronutrients that your body actually really needs is protein and fats. Fats for the hormonal system and for repair and all this sort of stuff, and protein for muscle tissue recovery, muscle tissue strength, building muscle tissue. Carbohydrates are just a really convenient store of energy, right? So when you have a carbohydrate, it can power you up, right? So if I've got a girl or a guy who's dieting, right, they want to lose body fat, most of their meals in the day will be protein and fat based, right? The food that they have around their training, because they're going to perform, they're going to go out, they're going to work out, they're going to push themselves. I give them carbohydrate, so they've got the energy to do that, right? But outside of that, we'll keep the carbs low. And I don't want people to misconstrue this. It's not because carbs are the enemy. It's because when you know, okay, over time to get into great shape, when we're talking about losing body fat, you have got to have a reduced calorie intake, right? Or let's say reduced food intake. So when you look at your diet and you think to yourself, well, I've got to reduce my food, what macronutrient source do I need to pull from that's going to cause the sort of least intrusion to my body's function, to my body's health, to my body's energy, right? You want to pull from the carbohydrates, because those protein and fats, especially for women and men as well, they have different things. I can tell you right now that we talk about diet, right? The impact of it. I've had women come to me that I've worked with, sisters and everything that I've worked with, who have had really difficult issues, surrounding the time of the month, right? Really bad stomach pains, really bad coming out of it, that has been massively remedied from having good quality fats in their diets. A lot of people don't understand the good quality fats that are carried in an avocado, that are carried in nuts, that are carried in meats like salmon, fish like salmon. Yes, meats like beef, right? Even chicken thighs, right? These carry good fats in them, right? And when you have that in your diet, and then you have things like coconut oil, olive oil, grass-fed butter, right? So you're cooking grass-fed butter versus vegetable oil. These all provide great benefit to the body, right? They bolster your hormonal profile, right? I have women reporting to me they got better quality hair, better quality skin, better quality nails, right? For men, right, they feel a libido boost, right? They feel stronger, right? This is the power of food that you guys are missing out on just because you don't know. You look at these foods as boring, right? You look at these foods as tasteless and bland because man has corrupted you. The devil is giving you the apple, right? The supermarket apple the devil's giving you, and you all love it. You all love it. But if you realize these bland, boring foods, that if you kept to those, my goodness, your body would just, you wouldn't believe that the way that your body can change and how much better you'll feel.
So on that note, I'd just like to involve our listeners as well. So listeners, if you have any questions or queries regarding our topic tonight, which is what we need to eat to have a great shape, please get in touch with us by giving a call on 01582 481822, or you can send your text messages or WhatsApp on 07779 481822. And yes, we are talking about how to be in a great shape. So what do we need to eat? So call us or message us. So, brother, one of the things which I always wanted to ask is, in terms of the fruit, which you have mentioned now, what sort of fruit intake we should have at least every single day?
So when I'm working with most clients, right, again, it depends on the phase that we're in, but just as a basic, because remember, when I'm working with somebody, the diet's changing as their body's responding. So this is what you need to be aware of. When you see the people that I get into shape and you ask yourself, what's the secret? It's because they're working with me, and every single week I'm evaluating their body, then changing the nutrition based on that. But the general rule of thumb, I will always try to get at least, I would minimum 2 to 3 servings of fruit in a day, right? And I like to vary that fruit, right? Because like I say to you, don't lose sight and don't lose track, right? At the end of the day, this stuff that is grown from the earth, right, is carrying benefit in you. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this earth in such a way that everything you ever needed for the body, he's already given you, right? It's there in nature. Like you look at berries, right? So I'll have clients eat sometimes nearly half, I'm not joking about this, sometimes nearly up to half a kilo of berries a day, right? Think about that, 500 grams of berries a day. Sounds like a lot.
Wow.
Yep, doesn't have much calories in it, but the antioxidants that it produces, right, are incredible. Right, then you look at something like an apple, the digestive benefits that carries is incredible. You look at something like a banana, the potassium benefits that carries is amazing. So what I typically do is I will have a person, you guys want to say, well, what's the ultimate meal that I could have? If I was having regular meals per day, if I want to set my diet up and I just, I want to lose body fat and all that, how do I set it up? Well, the first segment of the meal is you need to have a good quality lean protein source. So like fish, like beef, like chicken, like turkey, eggs. You can use things like Greek yogurt as well, right? I think that's a good thing to use.
What about lamb and sheep?
Lamb and sheep are okay, but what it is with lamb and sheep, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you do go for lamb and sheep, what you want to do is you want to trim the fat off, right? It's not that the fat is bad, because when you've had an animal that's actually eaten a diet that's it's been intended to eat, right? So it's not been, artificially like grown, right? Like jabbed up and all this sort of stuff. It's an animal that's been allowed to free range and eat. That fat's actually good for you. But what it is, fat itself carries a lot of calories, right? So you could innocently be eating lamb 2-3 times a day and not making any progress in fat loss, right? Because you're eating, your overall calorie intake is too much, right? So you want to trim the fat off. That's the key thing. If you're going to go for a fattier cut of meat, it's not that you don't have any fat, it's just that you trim the excess off, right? You don't need to be consuming that. All the power is really in the protein. So if we talk about perfect meals, and you're watching this, you think like, I want to set my diet, or what do I do? 2 or 3 meals a day is more than enough, right? Only if you're an athlete or you're a bodybuilder or a powerlifter or a strongman or whatever, then you would want to eat more meals than that, right? 3 to 4 good quality meals a day. You want to have a lean protein source in every single meal. That's really important, right? Once you've got that lean protein source, I would say to you, if you're not active, right, and you're not going to the gym that much, you're not doing that much exercise, maybe you have a sedentary job, you want to pull away from starch carbohydrates. So really, with that lean protein, you want to have like salad or veg, and you want to have a portion of fruit with it. What I like about the fruit is that it's like it will give you a bit of a sugar hit, but not in a way that an artificial sugar will. So you'll get that sweetness. So for example, I have people say to me, Afsa Yar, man, do you know what it is? I'll be honest with you. I eat a meal, then I feel like binging because I need that. Like I need something sweet. I say to them, go and have 300 to 400 grams of watermelon. It's got hardly any calories in it, but it's got great hydration. It's got great sweetness, right? And then your craving will be satisfied, right? So a perfect meal is like a lean protein source, some fruit, maybe some nuts, right? And a bit of salad, bit of veg. Now that might sound boring to you, but what I would say to you, if you're watching this, is that you're boring. Because I say to people, don't look at it, oh, this diet, if I have it, it'll be boring. Think to yourself, well, this is an opportunity for me to learn how to cook better, right? How to explore with seasonings and herbs and these sort of things. You'd be surprised. Like I can cook lean beef and make it like a keema. It tastes delicious. I never worry about the blandness of my food. And no one, because if you come from our ethnicity and you know how to use herbs and seasonings, you're always going to have flavor in your food. Always.
Now, my next question, you will understand in a way, being a Desi, being from a people from subcontinent, we love our food.
Yes.
And whenever we go, we literally celebrate anything and everything with food. And our everything food is for deep fry stuff, this, that, another, yada, yada, yada. How can we eat healthy in that kind of a thing, especially if we are sticking with the protein and the fats? How can we differentiate what can we eat and how much we can eat?
So you're talking about when you go out?
Yes.
Okay. So I get this question all the time. Obviously, working with so many people, I'll have people check in and they'll be like, "Afsa, do you know what it is, Yard? I've got a wedding coming up, or I've got a social do coming up. What do I do?" So the first thing is that if you're eating clean most of the time and you've got a good quality diet, first of all, don't think that having one bad day or having one bad meal is going to like take you or put body fat on you. It won't, right? You've got to use this very simple system. I've done enough weddings in my life, enough Desi weddings I've heard enough Desi drums in my life to last me a lifetime, right? And I will tell you the strategy that I use in these weddings, because you can't get out of it. In our culture, if you sit there with a Tupperware with your chicken and rice weighed out, you are going to get a slipper across the back of the head, right? You can't be doing that at a wedding.
Exactly.
So you've got to go there, and it's part of the sunnah as well. Do you know what I mean? You've got to sit there and enjoy. So don't get stressed about going to a wedding, right? First thing you want to do is this. This is a technique that I use, right? So what I like to do with clients is, if you know you're going to a wedding or you're going to somewhere where you are going to eat, and you know, like, look, man, you're not going to have the best quality of food, right? What you do is, that day, I would highly advise you do an intermittent fast. So you start your day in the morning with a breakfast, a good quality breakfast, like I say to you, using whole natural food. So like a couple of eggs, maybe make an omelette, sunny side up eggs, whatever, a slice of toast, an avocado, right? Or you can have a bit of porridge or whatever, right? So good quality breakfast that is healthy. Then for the rest of the day to the event, fast, right? So that you're not going to go well over your food when you do go and eat. So already you've created a gap. Do you see what I mean? Because you've probably missed 2 or 3 meals that you're normally eating. Plenty of water when you're fasting, right? Then when you get to the event, here's what you want to do. Here's a tactic. When you're eating your dinner, right, and you're looking at the different dishes, go for a salan, go for a dish, right, that is mainly body intensive, right? You want to have a lot of meat, right? And then what you do is what I do, right? You just pull out the botia, minimum salan, minimum masala, right? Maybe have a bit of chaval, maybe a roti or 2, right? Nothing crazy, right? Fill up on the meat, right? Keep the carbohydrates sensible, right? And you can never go wrong. Never go wrong. It's as simple as that. Like literally avoid having like 3-4 roti, right, with tons of salan, because you know how it is, how tasty it is. You're just dipping your roti in the salan, man, and you just, I love that. Cooked fresh, and it's just got that flavor, and you're just scooping it up, and you're just banging in unwanted calories and unhealthy fat. So all you do is you take the protein out, so you take the body out, so whether it's chicken or beef or whatever, you stick to that, right? You have a bit of rice, because I'll always, at any wedding you go to, you can have rice, or you're gonna have roti, you're gonna have naan, or one of the thing, right? You have 1 or 2 roti max, a little bit of rice, and get your fill from the protein. So filling it up with meat. You cannot go wrong. I've never had a client go wrong with that tactic. I say to them, the biggest thing on your plate should be your protein, right? And you want to keep it as clean as possible. So all that means is that when you put it in, you know, you'll see people, you know how it is, right? So you go to an event like this and you put your charvel out. I've done it many times, and you just pouring that salan onto it. You know it's going to be, and if you're really naughty like me, then you could get a roti and eat the salan and the charvel as well. That's triple combo. I don't advise this. I'll give you bad advices now, right? But
so this is what you not to eat.
This is not to eat. This isn't what to eat. Don't take this is what to eat. This is not what to eat, right? So instead of doing that, like I say to you, look at the dishes that are available. Look at the one that has the most sort of protein, least sort of salan. Go for that, right? Tandoori chicken's a great one, right? You know, things like this, tandoori grilled foods. If you get that, even better. Fill up with the protein to your heart's content. You want to have a four or five bhojia, have that, right? And then just keep the carbohydrates moderate, like a little bit of rice or 1 or 2 rotia max. And what you'll find is that you'll be able to eat there. There'll be no scene, right? You'll be able to enjoy your meal. You still got flavor, right? But you're not then being in a situation where you're going to wake up the next day pounds heavier, right? Or you're burping from the acid reflux, or you're bloated, or you're sitting on the toilet for ages. Do you know what I mean?
Indeed.
The after effects are not good. Avoid them. You'll feel so much better in yourself.
Indeed. Let's come towards the fruit side. Now, you have mentioned about apples, grapes, berries, watermelon.
Yeah.
What about things like mango or dates?
They're absolutely fine. So they got their place. So, for instance, obviously I was working with a lot of people during Ramadan, full stop. I work with a lot of people during Ramadan. You'd be shocked, actually, because a lot of people don't come to me during Ramadan to get into shape. They come to you during Ramadan because they're like, man, I want to go on a diet that I'm going to feel good on so I can keep my fast and I can feel strong. So I will use dates in the typical way where we open and close the fast with it, right? But if you are somebody that likes dates and you're thinking to yourself, where can I actually have that in my diet where it'd be of a benefit, right? So let's talk about what dates can be a benefit from. Dates are phenomenal pre and post workout for quick acting sugars. So, you know, post-workout, right? After you've had a hard workout, I'm talking hard workout, right? After you've had a hard workout where you've really pushed yourself in the gym, your muscles are depleted, right? So the first thing the body needs to do, it needs to restore what we call glycogen, right? That is carbohydrate within the muscle. Dates are the fastest known way to do it. It's amazing. And you know what I love? I love how that ties into our religion, is that you open your fast with dates because they provide instant energy. Similarly, if you had a hard workout, dates work incredibly well to recover, to give you instant energy that the muscle will utilize, right? Mango is a little bit different. You can have mango. I have people on my diets that are having mango literally every day, right? I do tell them how much to have. So I'll say to them, look, have 150 grams of mango, but mango's a grapefruit. That's what I mean. Like, you don't have to have a boring diet. You can have all the fruits you want, you know, in moderation. And like I say to you, that if you do that, then you're going to have a diet that has got great variety, great taste, natural foods, and is doing your body a benefit.
Wow. On that note, I must say, wow, the time has passed really, really quickly. We just have under 2 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. The time is literally slipping through. So what I like you to do is to give us a quick message in terms of the positive side, and definitely we will finish our show on that higher note.
Okay, no problem. Also, if you listen to this show, right, what I would like you to take from it is this: the summary is of this. No matter whatever your goal is in life, we should all be consciously aware about what we're eating, because what we eat intrinsically has an effect on our mental and physical health, right? There's no escaping it, right? Don't think because you don't want a six-pack that you shouldn't be thinking about what you're eating, because you certainly should, right? It's going to affect the way that you feel. It's going to affect your longevity. It's going to affect your mortality. When you're thinking about what you need to do to start like eating healthily, what does that mean? Before you worry about counting calories, before you worry about counting macronutrients, worry about the actual food source itself, right? Stick to a diet where you can't go wrong. Stick to a diet where all the food items that you're using are from nature, right? From the earth, right? You can't go wrong. It's built that way. It's intrinsically built that way into the diet. Then once you do that and you decide, okay, I'm eating healthily, right? I'm getting the foods in, my body's changing, and now you're going to get more serious. So now you're going to set a goal. Then start to actually break it down into how much you're eating, right? Start to manipulate that. And then when you get to a stage where you think to yourself, look, I'm really enjoying this and I want to build myself to another level, then you contact me.
Indeed, and I must say he helped me a lot, and he's still helping me, and I'm looking forward for that particular set of help. And yes, it's the 12-week of challenge is not an easy task, but we will talk about my 12-week challenge, inshallah, in next show.
Yeah, I'd love
when we
to.
do our next show. And on this note, I will say, wow, thank you so much, brother Asr, for coming to our show today and enlightening us about the food, because we really do not understand food that much.
No.
And definitely we will be looking forward for our next get together, inshallah, in a month's time.
Inshallah, brother. Looking forward to it.
And this is all we have for this week's show, inshallah. Keep listening to our show. Do remember us in your du'as, and definitely and if there's any positive comments, or if you'd like to see anything different in our show or listen to different topics, do get in touch with us. Remember us in your du'as. Until next week, I'm saying assalamu alaikum.